In the heart of California's Central Valley, the earth bleeds red. This is not a garden. It is a bio-industrial engine. 38 million tons of processing tomatoes are harvested annually to feed the global appetite for paste. These are processing tomatoes bred to be rock hard. Giant harvesters tear through the fields, separating fruit from vine with violent efficiency. There is no hand-picking here. Speed is the only metric that matters. The harvester offloads directly into tandem trailers known as gondolas. This transfer happens at highway speeds. A single truck is filled in minutes, carrying 25 tons of raw potential destined for the factory. Once the stem is cut, the clock starts. These trucks form a ceaseless conveyor belt on the highway, arriving at the factory gates every 4 minutes, 24 hours a day, racing against rot. Upon arrival, there is no time to waste. Trucks hit the weigh station where automated pros snatch samples. They aren't just weighing the load, they're measuring the bricks, the sugar content that determines the payout. In the lab, the sample is instantly analyzed. Farmers are paid for tomato solids, not water. A high bricks score means more profit. If the mold count is too high, the entire 50-ton load is rejected instantly. Approved trucks back onto the tilt dump. Massive hydraulics lift the entire rig, sending a landslide of fruit into the flume. Gravity does the heavy lifting, emptying the trailer in seconds. They land in the flume, a river of water that acts as a transport system. Water cushions the fall to prevent bruising and begins the cleaning process, carrying the tomatoes into the heart of the factory. First, the rock trap. Physics does the sorting here. Tomatoes float, while rocks and heavy dirt clods sink to the bottom, where they are mechanically ejected. Only the fruit survives the swing. Next, high-pressure car wash for fruit. Jets of water blast away field dust and pesticides. The tomatoes emerge glistening, prepped for the most high-tech step in the sorting process. This is the optical sorting line where lasers meet agriculture. Millions of tomatoes pass through here every hour. They are launched into the air, where they are judged in milliseconds. Cameras scan for color. If a tomato is green, black, or yellow. Basically, if it isn't perfect, red #FF0000, a jet of air blasts it out of stream. It's a firing squad for imperfection. Machines are fast, but humans are discerning. A final manual check ensures no stems or rot slip through. From here on out, the tomatoes will never be whole again. For whole peeled products, the fruit enters the steam peeler. Superheated steam blasts the skin, and a sudden pressure drop causes it to explode off the flesh, leaving the tomato naked and intact. But for paste, destruction is the goal. The tomatoes enter the crusher, a terrifying maw of rotating blades that instantly pulverizes the fruit into a liquid pulp. This is the critical split. For ketchup and pizza sauce, the pulp enters the hot brick. It is flash heated to over 200 degrees Fahrenheit instantly. The heat kills the enzymes that naturally break down pectin. By destroying them, we preserve the tomato's natural thickeners, creating the heavy, viscous texture required for industrial pizza sauce. Alternatively, the cold break process heats the pulp to just 150 degrees. Some enzymes survive, breaking down the thickness but preserving the fresh, bright flavor notes needed for juice and salsa. The cooked pulp hits the finishers, high-speed centrifuges with fine mesh grains. Centrifugal force pushes the pure juice through, while skins and seeds are ejected as waste. Nothing goes to waste. The mountains of skins and seeds are collected and sold as high-protein animal feed. But the red gold continues its journey. We now have thousands of gallons of thin tomato juice. But to make paste, we need to remove the water. It's time for the monster machines, the evaporators. Entering the evaporator room is like stepping into the engine of a ship. These multi-stage vacuum chambers are designed to boil off water without cooking the flavor out of the paste. Inside, a vacuum lowers the boiling point. The juice boils violently at low temperatures, allowing the water to steam off while preserving the tomatoes' red color and fresh taste. The liquid travels through 3 stages of evaporation. With each stage, it gets thicker and darker, transforming from a watery soup into a dense, lava-like concentrate. The result is red gold. We have removed 95% of the water, leaving a concentrate so thick it flows like lava. It is now ready for the most difficult challenge: storage. We are entering the sterile zone. To survive 2 years in storage without preservatives, the paste must be completely free of bacteria. The hygiene standards here rival a hospital. The paste undergoes
This is the flash process
cooling.
in action.
It is superheated for just 3 seconds to kill any remaining microbes, then instantly chilled to lock in the quality. Inside the aseptic filler, steam jets create a sterile bubble. The paste is pumped directly into massive, pre-sterilized bags. No air ever touches the product. This isn't a grocery store can. The paste is pumped into massive 300-gallon bags nestled inside wooden bins. Each bin holds enough paste for 15,000 pizzas. For different customers, the paste goes into 55-gallon steel drums. The process is the same: sterile, fast, and sealed tight against the atmosphere. Every bin is tagged with its DNA, the bricks level, the acidity, and the exact minute it was produced. This traceability is crucial for the global brands that will buy it. Forklifts rush the finished bins to the warehouse. The factory floor is a hive of activity, clearing the output to make room for the next batch. This is the vault. Rows of bins stacked to the ceiling, stretching as far as the eye can see. This warehouse holds millions of dollars of concentrate, waiting to be shipped. But before it can be sold, it must pass the lab. Scientists analyze samples from every batch. The first test is color. It must be a specific, deep shade of red. The Bostwick test measures thickness. The paste flows down a ramp for 30 seconds. If it flows too fast, it's too watery for ketchup. If too slow, it won't pump. It has to be perfect. The Howard mold count is the industry standard. Since tomatoes grow in dirt, microscopic mold is inevitable. But the count must remain below a strict legal limit, or the entire batch is destroyed. Acidity is safety. The pH level is checked to ensure it's acidic enough to prevent botulism, but balanced enough for the flavor profile required by clients like Heinz or Domino's. The black speck test checks for burn particles. If the evaporators run too hot, the paste burns. High-end clients demand a speck-free product for their smooth sauces. Once approved, the paste is allocated. This batch is destined for a soup factory in Ohio. That one is heading to a ketchup plant
Confirmed.
in the Netherlands. The inventory is spoken for.
The Client A shipment is allocated and ready for dispatch.
The cycle completes at the shipping bay. The wooden bins are loaded onto trucks, leaving the factory to begin their second life as the base for the world's favorite foods. Water is gold in California. The factory has its own treatment plant, recycling the millions of gallons used in the flumes. The water is cleaned, cooled, and pumped back to the start. To peel and evaporate, you need massive heat. The boiler room generates the high-pressure steam that powers the factory. It consumes energy voraciously to drive the transformation. During the 90-day season, the factory cannot stop. A dedicated team of mechanics works around the clock, fixing belts and pumps on the fly. Downtime costs thousands of dollars a day. Cleanliness is automated. The clean-in-place system flushes the pipes with acid and caustic solutions at regular intervals, scrubbing the insides of the stainless steel veins without ever stopping the plant. In the control room, operators oversee the entire chemical process. They balance the flow, tweak the temperatures, and ensure the evaporators are running at peak efficiency. The machines don't sleep, but people do. Shift changes happen seamlessly. Fresh crews take over the lines, keeping the relentless pace of the harvest season going. When the sun goes down, the work continues. The factory glows like a city in the darkness. The cooling night air makes the steam clouds billowing from the evaporators even more dramatic. Even the wooden bins need a bath. Before being reused, they're blasted with hot water to remove field dust and debris, ensuring a clean home for the sterile bag. Oxygen is the enemy of flavor. Nitrogen generators pull gas from the air to create an inert blanket over the holding tanks, preventing the juice from oxidizing before it's processed. They keep a sample of everything. This library holds a jar from every batch for 2 years. If a customer complains about a pizza sauce in 6 months, they can pull the reference sample to check. Not everything becomes paste. On a sideline, firmer tomatoes are routed to the dicers. High-speed blades chop them into uniform cubes for chunky salsas and stewed tomatoes. The canning line is a blur of silver. Magnetic belts grip the cans as they fly, through filling and seaming at hundreds of cans per minute, destined for grocery store shelves. Canned tomatoes are cooked inside the can. Giant pressure cookers called retorts sterilize the contents, ensuring they remain shelf-stable for years.
This is the final kill step for canned goods.
At the end of the line, the robots take over. They stack cases and drums with geometric precision, building pallets ready for wrapping and shipping. For a brief moment at dawn, the yard is empty. The asphalt is washed down, but in the distance, the rumble of the next fleet is already approaching. The harvest waits for no one. In the test kitchen, the science meets the plate. Chefs test the paste for spreadability and bake performance. It has to look and taste perfect on a pizza fresh out of a 500-degree oven. Much of this paste will become ketchup. Scientists mix it with vinegar, sugar, and spices to ensure it has the backbone to support the world's most popular condiment. This is a global commodity. From the processing belts of California, Italy, and China, these red concentrates traverse the oceans, trading like oil or steel. Walk down any grocery aisle. The pasta sauce, the soup, the salsa, the ketchup, they all started as that rock-hard fruit in the flume. It is the invisible fuel of the fast food industry.
Pick up on the
Cheap,
pepperoni, we're falling
consistent,
behind.
and flavor-packed. Tomato paste provides the umami punch that billions of people crave daily.
Pump, spread, wrap. The red sauce is the splash of color and flavor.
But it all begins here. Farmers constantly battle drought and heat to grow a crop that meets the factory's impossible standards for color and solids. To survive a changing climate, the industry has adapted. Subsurface drip irrigation delivers water directly to the roots, cutting waste and maximizing the yield of every acre. Breeders are constantly engineering the perfect fruit. They need a tomato with thicker skin for transport, higher sugar for profit, and a deeper red for the camera. The water used to wash the tomatoes is treated and returned to the land, irrigating local crops. In a circular economy, nothing, not even the wash water, is wasted.
The water leaving the facility is clean enough to welcome back diverse wildlife.
As the sun rises on another day in the valley, the factory roars on. It is a cathedral of efficiency, turning the bounty of the earth into a shelf-stable commodity. Behind the lasers and the evaporators are the people. They work long shifts in the heat and the noise to ensure that the harvest is not run. So the next time you slice a pizza or dip a fry, look at that red layer. It is a marvel of engineering, a concentrated essence of summer, preserved for your plate. It started as a 50-ton truckload. It ends as a 6-ounce can in your pantry. A journey of washing, crushing, heating, and evaporating to bring flavor to your table. From the field to the flume, from the evaporator to the aseptic bag. This is the invisible empire of red gold. Which industrial food process should we break down next? The pressing of olive oil or the tempering of chocolate? Vote in the comments below.